It's the Standard Pauper Show. It's a show about Standard Pauper.
And the Pauper Gauntlet.
Yes, and the Pauper Gauntlet. That's right, folks. It is time to discuss all manner of pauperness. We got Worlds, we got the Gauntlet, and later this evening we should have a special guest, JPHSnake. That's right, King of the Nerds star himself. Should be joining us in a little while.
That's amazing.
It is cool. Jack is a cool dude. I knew he was too cool to be on that show. You have to be a super nerd. Jack's just a cool guy.
He tried hard to be a real super nerd.
Hey, he did great.
Yeah, he did.
All right, let's take a look at what happened this week on the Standard Pauper. It was the SPDC this past Sunday, February 1st. 8 players, 8 decks. 3-round Swiss top 4 playoff. Our good buddy Roberto made number 1 with Thundercats. Thundercats is a big misnomer. It's actually the deck Dan has been playing. It's Cruising with Gary.
Oh my god, he won.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I popped in and watched him play a couple of games. It was actually pretty entertaining. He kind of dominated the games I watched. It was pretty cool. So.
Yeah, that's great.
Wow. Yeah, I was almost going to play that, but I negotiated with the wife and decided to play an earlier sealed tournament instead. But I'm glad I didn't have to play the mirror against the creator of the deck. That's always bad.
Yeah. Yep. And we was followed up with the lifelink deck from Beatnik Bobby, a blue-white heroic, and Zoltan did a little protest in his name. Tap blue, draw 3 is fair. So
broken
we understand
everywhere.
Zoltan. Yes. It has never been a fair thing to do in any format. So, let's take a look. Here is the SPDC winner. It should look very familiar, Dan.
He played the Nimbus Naiad.
He did.
Yeah, wow.
Hey, sometimes you just need to go over the top.
Hey, something is weird here. He has replaced Disciple of Phoenix with Appeal from Reality. He's also playing the 4 Voyage's End.
Mm-hmm.
And he made room for a Ferricus Cure. So what?
Oh, so there's...
What did he cut?
I don't know. 2 Disciple.
Yeah, so that's one less.
Yeah.
How many Spellbinders do you run?
I run 2.
Oh, okay.
I have to open the client. And that is always a pain because it's version 4 and it's so hard. Let's beat that dead horse.
Right. It won't change.
It's in version 7.
Zoltan's deck, by the way, was a mono white deck.
Okay.
He wasn't even rocking the treasure cruises.
He was complaining.
Right.
So good for him.
Yeah, we'll make a treasure cruise statement with Worlds. We'll go over the Worlds winner in just a moment.
All right.
I want to see what's different between this and the one that Dan runs.
As I mentioned to Brennon and Sam before the show, I have not slept, and this is 5:26 a.m. in the morning. But normally I sleep before the show, but now I've been out partying all night instead. So
that's right. Our man Dan is a party animal.
If I say something weird, it's because I am weird.
What really is the case, folks, is he just can't hide it when he's this tired.
Flesh to dust. Flesh to dust has left the building.
No flesh to dust.
Dust.
Oh, look at that.
That makes sense.
What?
It makes sense. I mean, it is a 5 casting cost spell.
A debilitating injury is cut from the deck.
Yep, no No debilitatings. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Bounce, less kill.
Interesting. He went 4-1, but he won it.
Who did he lose to?
Give me just a second, and I will pull it up.
He lost.
I guess that he lost to some flyers.
He lost to some flyers.
He lost to
P, B, C. I'll have to cut this part out.
He lost to Beatnik Bobby in round 2 playing against the Lifelink deck.
Lifelink deck.
Yep.
Bow, bow, bow.
Well, that looks... what is that?
It is Abzan with the white, green, black.
Wow. All life.
Child of Night. Sidisi's Pet.
Spirits.
Trip Spurts.
That's
yep, 3 of those.
Yeah. We are weak to those.
Yep.
That's an awesome looking deck.
It is pretty cool. I like it.
Very interesting.
What is the green for?
What is the green for? Abzan Guide?
Yep, Abzan Guide.
Yeah.
That's it. Splash green for Abzan Guide.
Anything out of the board?
Kill Shot, Pegasus, Font, nope. Rakshasas, Erase, Fester. Nope, nothing.
Literally for the Abzan Guide.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's unique.
That plus Fleet Feathers handles. Hardcore.
It's pretty crazy.
Yep.
Flying in Haste. Yep.
Nice.
That is cool. All right. Normally we go over a hand and all that, but today, since we have 2 things we're covering, we're going to go straight to Worlds MPDC Season 27 Worlds Event, won by Big B. That's right, Big B with My Galaxy. If I'm not mistaken, Big B did not play one treasure cruise during this season and yet acquired enough points and got first place.
I actually think Gwynedd had tweeted that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was pretty proud of the fact that Big B won without playing a single treasure cruise all season.
That's crazy.
I'm going to have to look up and see what Golden Army is.
Rats, cats, Garys, and cruises.
Of course, I'm always fascinated by Deck Not Found.
Yeah, it's the elusive, unobtainable deck.
Yeah,
I'm going to do that. Whenever I enter, I'm just going to name mine Deck Not Found. I'll ride that gravy train all the way to top 8. But 16 players, only 10 decks reported.
Ooh,
what does it mean?
That's not good.
Worlds.
Worlds, that's just the end of the season. They end the season when the new set comes out.
Yeah, and you need to have a certain amount of points to qualify for.
They used to do that when cons came out, when they ended over the summer, I believe they let anyone play in Worlds.
Okay.
But I don't know if this time they did that. I will have to look that up. But yeah, usually you have to qualify for Worlds, but I believe they opened it up last time.
So it's just anyway. the grand tournament.
Yeah. So, pretty interesting. Let's take a look at the winner. Look at all this. Solid white. White as snow. Loyal Pegasus. Hordechief. Cathar. Another Pegasus. Another different kind. Akroan, Jeskai Student. Razia 4 Triplicate Spirits. Good gracious. Inspired Charge. Also pretty handy with you got a bunch of things out there. Ajani's Presence, God's Willing, Pillar of Light. Lots of protection. And lots of little dudes running around. So...
that's a beating.
That is a beating. Lots of craziness going on
there.
Wow.
Beatnik Bobby's deck was blue-black hexproof. He finished in the top 8 playing Gary's and 4 Nimbus Naiads, 4 Servants of Temerat. So he kind of went all in on that. That's pretty cool.
He sure did.
Good for him.
Excellent. All right. Now...
No cruises.
No cruises.
No cruises. Why do that to yourself?
I don't know. It's awesome. All right, I have these out of order, so I'm going to have to edit. Hold on. So we're going to talk about the Gauntlet real quick, Dan.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about...
should we have him on for that?
Yeah, he's about to come on.
Mm.
And that's why. So let's quickly...
But I meant, should we have him on for the Gauntlet?
What's that?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. I just wanted to get back to this. Okay. All right, so that's the world's winner. Quick reminder.
I have a comment here about the deck.
Sure.
If you go back to it. It's
Uh-huh.
from General Avitora. He says,
Yes.
"Impossible. How could they overwhelm us? We had barricades, war elephants, and they were barely a tenth of our number." It's the flavor text from Inspired Church.
Nice.
Is it? Awesome.
That sounds like historical text.
It does. I kind of thought you were a fan of historying us there.
Neat.
No, it's just the flavor text on Inspired Church. But yeah, this looks, wow, like all the good white things.
Yeah, I like it. I love mono. I love having mono.
Yeah, I think it's a giant advantage in Standard Pauper to be monocolor.
Sunset Outcast is going to find her home in a deck like that really easy, so...
Heck yeah. All right, quick reminder, F&M, you get it done. I'll put it on the show. I'll tweet it out. Local gaming store, just talk to them. Even if you do just regular Pauper, just some sort of alternate Pauper format, we want to hear about it. So, okay, now it's time to talk about the Gauntlet. Like I mentioned at the top of the show, we have with us JPHSnake. You may have seen him also on the King of the Nerds TV show. Say hello, Jack.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey. Yeah, we're real glad you could join us. It's very cool to have someone that we talk about your decks quite often on the show. It's cool to actually have you on the show.
Yeah, it's anytime, guys.
Excellent. All right, well, let's get right into it. These are the two remaining decks. First up, we had Jack's deck, the one that he championed, Burn versus Mono Black Control. I got some bad news, folks. Mono Black Control won out.
Yeah, I was I was so hopeful after like the game one, It's like, oh, come on, guys.
Yes, it's such a tease.
I know.
Yeah,
it really sucks. Like after you get like game one, and then like, oh, and that means that that you're gonna have like two. That means you have 2 games to win one game. You have two games to win, and you have to win only one of them, and you're guaranteed to play first on at least one of those 2 games. So I mean, yeah, yeah, it's heartbreaking, as always.
Right, and yeah, I felt a little crushed myself because I had just sent you. An email, I think, and I said, "Hey, man, if it's down to you and Den of Bears, you want to come on?" And then I see that video, I was like, "Oh God, now I got to break it to him."
Yeah.
And he couldn't even board anything in for those witches. But the Chittering Rats did a ton of work in that last.
Oh, they did. They did, unfortunately.
Yeah, can't dump your hand out fast enough, Yeah. Though, like, if you were managed to, but if you did manage to get rid of all your burn spells before the Chittering Rats happen, I think then you stand a really good chance of winning because, they are just, they're gray ogres then,
Yeah.
Right.
But they have those 2 black mana in their cost as well, which is really bad. So when Gary comes, he hurts so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, Gary.
Gary hits real hard in this format.
He even
He's like his own.
At one point, right?
Yeah, he did. So it was just bad all around. He gained some life. He lost a lot of life. It's just one of those things.
I think like with the Burn NBC matchup is just like can you beat him like before turn 5? And it's just like so like it's and if you like I guess sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
It's much worse if it has tendrils as well. But,
yeah, that's true. They might not have 5 turns to beat him, I guess. But yeah, but I do believe that the advantage of Burn is just that like a lot of times you don't necessarily hit 5 mana on time or whatever random stuff happens, and usually like Burn is supposedly more consistent than a lot of other decks, but. Although then again, like I do remember like you see like you getting a few games where you had like 3 Fire Blasts sitting in your hand, you know, and Forgotten Cave with a single mountain.
Yes,
those are heartbreaking, you know.
Yeah. Playing 4 Fire Blast is mixed blessing. It's so good, so you have to do it, but sometimes it will come back and bite you.
Yeah, so I mean that's like actually one thing I'm not completely sold on like the like all Forgotten Caves at least like how many Forgotten Caves was that deck running anyways?
4.
4? Oh yeah, see I think that you really don't have that kind of luxury because like I think the problem is that like I think how many lands were you playing, like how many mountains were you playing then, like 17. So like yeah, the problem is that like so I think like on turn 4 or turn 5, like if you have 17 lands, you have about a 30% chance of hitting 4 mountains, and like that's and I think that kind of scenario is like really important to have, like if you get 4, like because if you get that kind of 4 mountain, if you get like one of those like 2 Fire Blast hands, you know, like you have to be able to cast them. So like I think like if you have like 2 Fire Blasts and you have 14 and you have like only 17 mountains, you have only like some 25 to 30% chance of like being able to cast your Fire Blast on time if you ever draw multiples, you know. And I think that's like a weakness of playing like the Forgotten Caves, like whether or not like we should be playing. I think like I do believe that like at least either like maybe substitute like this Forgotten Caves for more mountains. I'm just not sold on the Forgotten Caves thing because you know like I just find that there's too many games where you have too many where you just always have multiple Fire Blasts, you know, and
I think you aggressively have to cycle them, but you almost you should only play them when you really have to. It's like
yeah, that's true, but I mean then again but then again I think like Burn is one of those things. Like I do believe that Burn is a deck that like getting a mana flood is bad, but I think it's not the end of the world, especially if you draw like these Fire Blasts and stuff like that. I might be wrong, but that's just my opinion of Burn, you know.
It's
what about
there are different schools of thoughts there, absolutely, on 20 lands, 19 lands, some people playing even 18 lands, but I think it's super important to hit the 3rd land drop.
Yeah.
Not speaking of 5 blasts, but all other spells to be able to use all your burn in time.
3 lands, and it's also like but it's also important to like have but it's also important to like take into account like the worst case scenarios, you know. I think because like a lot of times you can like I think like what I read like the Legacy Burn forums like a while ago, and like they say like there's like 2 ways to approach Burn. It's like one is like the mana curve build, which is like I think the build that's going on in your Gauntlet right now, which is which basically is tuned for the optimal draws, and I think the other one is mana sink builds, where you are trying to tailor your deck so you don't like get completely screwed in the in games where you don't get like the mana, you don't hit your mana on time, or you hit too much mana, you know.
Yeah.
I'll say I'm actually piecing together. Been trading a lot in physical paper cards, and as opposed to virtual paper. That's a silly thing to say. But what I've been doing is I've actually been trading online, and I'm almost I would say about 90% done with a Legacy Burn deck myself. Just watching Dan play this and just watching Legacy matches online, I just thought it would be a great build to have. I had 2 Chain Lightnings already from forever ago. So I was like, hey, I got 2 expensive cards. Why not just finish up the deck, right? So kind of going back to your point on the lands, I've seen several different builds online, which clearly when you've been reading the Legacy forums, you talk about this. There are some people who run up to like between 6 and 8 fetch lands, fetching nothing but mountains. So you'd have a 20-card deck, but 6 of those lands being fetch lands. Do you think that makes a significant difference? I know Dan and I talked about this. I'm just kind of curious. I know this is getting off the rails of a Pauper show.
It depends on whether or not... Well, I mean, like, I guess a lot of these... are we talking about, like, the Legacy decks that before Treasure Cruise was banned, where, like, all the burn decks are using 4 Treasure Cruise anyways?
Oh, no, I'm talking post.
Case, yes, it does matter. Like, I think it only matters if you actually plan on using your graveyard, because, like, I think if you have, like, one of those, like, Grim Lavamancer builds, yeah, the fetch lands work. However, I do believe that the fetch lands should not actually, like, the fetch lands, like, I think that, like, the probability of, like, getting some benefit from fetch lands won't be seen until, like, it won't be significantly different from, like, not playing the fetch lands until turn 20 or something like that. And I think, like, or 16 or something like that. There was a magic number, but, like, but the problem is, and obviously if you are playing a burn deck, you probably don't want to hit that turn. And the other thing is that there are 2 disadvantages of playing fetch lands that I think are, or 3 disadvantages of playing fetch lands that I think are pretty important in burn. Is like, one is that, like, you lose life, and I think that's actually, especially against, like, the, like, Delver matchups, which are super common in Legacy, you know, like that, like, your life total is actually pretty important. And there's another one is, like, the fact that, like, if you have the fetch land, and you're like, you keep a 1 lander, you know, with a fetch land, you're actually decreasing your chances of getting a second land, you know. And the third reason is that, like, you also have although, like, that decrease of chance is not significant, but, like, it's just a counter argument to deck thinning, you know, is that you can also be deck screwing yourself. The third one is, like, people do play in Legacy Stifle. They play cards like they play like Hate Bears, like in Death and Taxes and stuff like that. They play cards that specifically interact with fetch lands, that, you know, and it's just like one more caveat that you shouldn't necessarily have to go for, you know. I personally do not like advocate a fetch land burn deck, but
I played them in Purple Red in Modern, but that was because of Grim Lavamancer.
Yeah, I mean, I think it only matters if you want to use your graveyard, and, like, I guess
if you're pulling a stronger card, so.
Yeah. Those are my 3 arguments against fetch lands. Life loss is sometimes relevant. You can screw yourself just as easily as you can flood yourself. And the third thing is that, people can run hate for them, you know?
Right.
And number 4, they're expensive as hell.
Yes.
So I mean, it feels more like it certainly feels a lot better beating them with, like, you're a deck that is limited only by the number of the price of your Goblin Guides, and versus like having to play a $300 deck to beat a $500 deck, you know.
Right. Yeah, Goblin Guides in paper are ridiculous.
Very likely reprint in Modern Masters too.
Oh, I bet. I actually have just substituted straight Monastery Swiftspear for now, just because of what you said, because I don't think they're going to stay up that high.
Yeah,
I have a strong
you don't
feeling.
necessarily have to play Goblin Guide or anything like that, you know. I mean, I guess, like, I mean, like, it's, if you don't have it, I don't necessarily think that you need to play a creature. Maybe Eidolon of Great Revels, but I think they play that already.
Right.
Or Kelp.
They do. And, yeah, I got those.
Yeah, so, I mean, like, I don't know if you, like, but the other thing is that you might not necessarily need extra creatures. I mean, like, I think there are enough, there may be enough. Like, I think from Pauper Burn, we learned that there are enough, like, 3-mana burn, like three damage, one casting spells that you probably can make a burn deck without Goblin Guides. It won't be as good, but I don't know if you like have to replace it with a creature. I guess
I was impressed by this build that it just had one creature.
Yeah, I mean,
but
like,
I assume that's because of all the.
You might like want to. You might want to consider, like, whatchamacallit, the free Phyrexian spells, like Ataxian Probe and Regenerate Growth, because, like, they do pump the Swift Spears up, and they also, like, they save it from removal. They can also save your Eidolons from Lightning Bolts, and, they also just, like, fill up your graveyard for those Grim Lavamancer turns, and if you were playing Burn when Treasure Cruise was all the rage, you know.
Right. Yeah. Treasure Cruise.
Yeah, I know. Such a hard.
But hey, people loved it, right?
I know, but like they didn't ban it from Pauper, at least not yet. So I mean, you can have fun playing the red deck X or deck Y, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Jack.
Well, awesome.
Jack, what do you think of the Fate Reforged guy, the 3-1 dash?
Oh, I love that guy. So I've been testing a mono red build. Like, basically, it's a dash build. Like, so it's a deck that's pretty much all creatures, except for a few. Except for like lightning bolts and and maybe Onslaught, which would be really nice with dash, you know. So
which one's Onslaught?
So I think that the 3-1 the Mardu Scout is amazing, actually, because like, so it does like a few things that I really want it to do. One of it is it is obviously it's a 3-1. Like, you can play it for 2 mana and still have a 3-1, you know, like, even if you don't dash it, like, that's still pretty good especially for a red card. A second thing is that, like, if you dash it and you're playing, like, Goblin Cohorts and Mog Conscripts, if you play those two guys, and, like, you're, like, top decking, you top deck that, you know, you can dash, return it to your hand, so it's not always a drawback, you know, you dash, so you always have a creature spell to cast. I think the other thing is that, like, if you play it with a card like Onslaught, like, you can dash, tap their creature, make sure they can't block, and then and then just like power through them, you know. Like, especially if you're like playing Affinity, you know, they have a out, you know, and you want to swing through, you got like can dash through them. And I think another.
Maybe we should explain what Onslaught is.
Yeah,
it's
I looked it up
a 1-mana
real quick.
enchantment.
Yeah.
From Exodus.
Yeah.
It's a common, and whenever you cast a creature spell, tap target creature.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That seems super
that's
good.
pretty effective.
A downside of Onslaught, though, is that, like, I learned this the hard way. Like, if they don't have any creatures, you still have to tap something, even if it's your own creature. And
no.
So, like, Although then again, obviously, if they're playing a creatureless deck, you wouldn't play it, you would just let Onslaught sit in your hand, you know. But it's interesting though, like how the old cards are structured. Like, if there's no May, you know, just like you have to tap your own guy. That's
right.
Or the Scout is trapped forever.
Yeah, but the other interesting card that I was really interested in with Mardu Scout is Heartlash Cinder, which is basically like Hellspark Elemental that has increases in power with each devotion, you know. And fun fact, the only double red card that's probably worth playing in in mono red would probably be is now probably Mardu's Scout. So like, or maybe Frostburn Mood is a maybe, I guess. But like, yeah, okay. Or I guess, but yeah, like so it does. It is a double red that can synergize pretty well with Heartlash Cinder. So I already brewed a deck based off that. Like where like I guess I'll call it like mono red devotion or something like that. And it can also use like Goblin Heel Cutters as well, which I think is very underrated. It's a good curve topper, like a 3/2 haste dash, and
right.
It also does what Onslaught does, like just makes something that doesn't block it. And the advantage of it is that it's still a creature, it still attacks, and you don't have to and it doesn't like screw you over if the other guy doesn't have any creatures, So
right, yeah, that was one of the when I played at the pre-release. I was curious about how Dash would work because everybody harps on build the board, and Dash specifically does not do that. But when I would end a turn, having attacked for 6, getting through because I was able to tap down one of their creatures or whatnot with the Hill Cutter. So if I dashed with the Scout and the Hill Cutter, at the end of the turn, I still had, I don't know if this is just psychological, but I still had what felt like a full grip. Because all I'd done just played a few lands, and I could cast creatures and attack, and at the end of that turn, I still had a handful of cards.
I mean, Dash isn't all bad though, because like you don't Dash is automatically avoids sorcery speed removal.
Yes.
It also is like for example, if you're playing like those like goblin, if you're playing the 2/2 goblins, they also they also make sure they can attack all the time. And like it's not right. A bad thing to do if you're mana flooded, because then you can like dash, and then your mana doesn't carry, basically give a guy haste, and and the other thing is that you don't you ignore a lot of things. You can I would like to say that they might be interesting in a burn deck, maybe because I guess like if you're playing like burn against a creatureless mirror, like teachings or something like that. And the teachings deck will side out all the removal against burn. You might like put in a few Mardu Scouts as like free rates.
Right. Oh, that's funny. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Oh, he's playing burn. Get rid of all my creature hate. That's funny.
Yeah, because then when they side back in their creature hate, you can side out your Scouts again, like in a double play, and then then they have a bunch of useless cards in their hand. Yet again, so you basically turn a game 3, which is into a game 1, and I think like burn versus teaching burn is quite heavily favored. So,
no, that's a good plan.
Yeah,
cool.
So yeah, no, I've been thinking about mono red a lot because I love red. Mono
I would exactly the modern red 1 deck that I played for a little bit and made some videos of were really popular.
Yeah.
So. Cool.
Everyone loves red, it's it's super fast, super fun, and and the thing is that it's cheap too, and I think people just get a lot of satisfaction winning from red because you don't have to spend a lot of money to beat decks that are several times more expensive than yours.
Exactly, and we are all about budget on this show.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think of? You guys think of anything else that's cool in the new Fate Reforged? I'm waiting to test out Manifest, but yeah.
Oh yeah, the Right Into Being is my new most favorite divination ever. That's the one where you look at the top 2 cards, manifest one, put the other on top or bottom of your library. So you have a divination where you end up getting a 2/2 out of it, and you can smooth your next draw. So I don't know. To me, I think there's a lot of room there.
Yeah, I think it's I want to try brewing with it. I think it's a good way to I mean, it's a great thing. If you run Brainstorm and Ponder and things like that, and you also run those big Walker of the Grove. And Little Mox Crusher, you can, if you manifest those, if you manifest that and then Cloud Shift them or something like that, it just haha, it's like playing Reanimator, and not exactly. As stupid because you don't have to because you can because you always have a backup plan because you have tutus, you know.
Right. So you got something on board. Yep. I'm a fan.
Yeah. I mean, actually, if you play Walker the Grove, you can use the the icy hot hottie shell, you know, and just replace a lot of stuff with brainstorms and reanimates. I mean, not reanimates and cloud shifts. You know?
Right. Well, there's also the green-blue spell that manifests the top 2 cards of your library. What was it called?
I'm more impressed by
the ambush. Yeah.
Ethereal Ambush.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't know if that's too slow for Pauper. It might be good for Standard Pauper though.
It's too slow for
Standard Pauper. Is kind of Wizard is so good at designing things though, because in Standard Pauper there's nothing that cloud shifts your dudes.
No, I think they learned their lesson from Avacyn. Yeah.
Yeah, they did way too much of that, and it overtook the format. But they just haven't had that theme for a while. So, but I don't know. I mean, when you look over Fate Reforged, do you really see anything that would impact this regular Pauper? I mean, there's nothing in it to me that stands out at that Treasure Cruise level of power.
Oh, I personally think that with the new red cards going out, Heel Cutter Dash, Goblin Heel Cutter, and Mardu Scout. I personally think that Sly, I personally think Sly is actually pretty darn competitive now.
Okay.
Yeah, I personally think that and I'm not talking about goblins. I think a lot of mistakes people will try to brew is they'll just try to use goblins and they'll try to make a goblin deck, and I just don't think that a goblin deck is that good. I feel just play all the 2/2s you can get. Who cares about you usually use goblin sledders to get rid of electricaries, but if you play 2/2s and all that stuff, you know, why bother?
Right. I gotcha.
Goblins has a very poor performance now in Classic Pauper. It's off the list. It's not the deck at all right now.
Yeah, but I mean, I personally think that Sly is very good. I've run Sly many, many times, and Mono Red Heroic and things like that. It seems that, I really think it seems that, Delver is such an easy matchup because, they spend 2 mana countering their 1 mana spells, and all your creatures are so much. Your creatures are generally better than theirs until they get a Spire Golem out. But by the time they get a Spire Golem out, it's way too late. So that's what I've always felt. I mean, I just feel that.
This is a good way of thinking about it.
I would actually have been less surprised if Mono Red Heroic had made it this far in the Gauntlet, but this regular burn build is just so uneven. And before the Gauntlet, I was just 55%. I had a 55% win percentage with burn. So I figured that burn is very 50-50 against most things. But this deck managed to go 11-0.
I know. I thought burn. Yeah, I personally think that I saw you I remember I saw originally I saw your when I got how I first got into your channel actually was that I saw you play burn in a daily or something like that. You 4-0'd the daily, and I think you beat Delver. I was yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but that matchup is horrible.
That was amazing. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's why I've championed Vern's. Dan, I didn't know your record with Vern. I just thought, Dan seems to know what he's doing with Vern. So.
I played it a lot.
Yeah. Dan likes violence in his Magic cards.
Yeah.
But I played Stompy even more, as we shall see on the next slide.
So Dan, right now, are you trying to incorporate Treasure Cruiser every deck now? I think I've seen your late.
I'm toying with the thought to just include 4 Treasure Cruises and see what happens. Familiars with 4 Treasure Cruises seems like fun.
Wow. It's It's the Jam Treasure Cruise All the Time channel is what we're just gonna rename it.
I might have a brew for you then, because like I tried to I've been trying to make like eggs work,
Right.
In Pauper, which is like I guess like trying to basically putting treasure cruises in Affinity. And I think I personally think that if you I personally think that if you run Affinity, like general Affinity, you can't get the benefit out of treasure cruise because you don't because the thing is that if you're winning, then you don't really need treasure cruise, and you don't get that many things. The only time you need a treasure cruise is when you have only time you can profit out of a treasure cruise when you have a tog out, So I mean. But I think that it's run a lot of eggs, a lot of those chromatic spheres and stars and all that stuff, and you just cycle through your deck like crazy with an Ethereum Sculptor. I think that might actually be a you can actually run Treasure Cruise and actually justify it. I don't know if it's better than Affinity or not. I'm just saying it's justifiable.
Brew it,
right?
I want to see that.
No, I have.
I was going to say, if you brew it, it'll get played.
I have a deck though. It runs a Ethereum Sculptor and a card that I think is really good in an eggs deck, which is a Glaze Fiend.
Oh wow,
that would be cool. That would be really cool.
No, I've been testing it, and it's there are times you go turn 2 Glaze Fiend, turn 3 Ethereum Sculptor, play out all your eggs, and then you have 4 or 5 eggs, and play your artifact land for the turn, and then you or you can play, and then you can swing for 10 turn 3, and then do that, and then draw. So then turn 4, draw all the cards off your eggs, play a few Thought Casts, play a few Treasure Cruises, and just go all out. And then I've also put Golem Foundry in the deck too, which is
I love it.
You just play you play 10 eggs in a turn, get a whole bunch of golems. Blastdust Hulk is an egg and a win condition at the same time. It was really fun. I just don't think I don't like it that much against in the metagame because it's just not you just don't have room for removal, and that's quite important these days.
Oh yeah.
I want to play that list.
What?
You've convinced us. Yes. We want to play it.
Yeah, but I just don't. I mean, I can send you the link. Don't disregard the sideboard, Dan. But yeah, but right. It's not very. It's not very. You can make your own sideboard. How about that?
Okay. Yep. Seems fair.
All right.
Yeah, I think that it's Esper. Yeah, I do believe that if you do place, yeah, I do suggest sideboarding some form of a bunch of standard bearers and a bunch of circle protections and random posers of any kind. And
yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
I like that.
That's but I'm just those are just my thoughts of brewing decks and all that stuff. I'm not gonna say that this deck is good by any chance. I'm just saying that this deck is a way to use Treasure Cruise and Affinity.
I think that's your.
I have not getting out to the goodness of the deck, but it is really fun.
Right.
There have been games I've just gotten 10 golems out and just yeah, and the thing is that each golem you get triggers a Glazed Fiend and it triggers the Glassdust Hulk, and they all have and those guys all have evasion and things like that. It's just it's just barrels of fun. It doesn't even I was originally going to play a Tog and Fling and Disciple of the Evolve, but who wants to do that? That's just Affinity.
I think that's your strength as a brewer.
Who wants Affinity 2.0?
You're like a mad genius, and just things come out of you, and sometimes you hit gold, and sometimes it's just pure fun. I love it.
No, I mean that's the thing though. I guess I don't necessarily want to just brew a bunch of random. I just don't want to brew a bunch of random. Oh, I'm gonna make a tier 1 deck slightly better,
Right.
Yeah.
You want it to be a winner, is what you want.
I want it to be a winner, but I also have to win in style. You can't just.
Yeah.
You can't just.
I hear you. I hear you.
My probability of winning is just with a few cool cards. Although I do really like your the new Delver build that you've gotten with all the mill stuff.
Yeah, that seems so broken.
I know. It's come on.
How can we make Delver less fun to play against?
I actually thought that Treasure Cruise was
Treasure Cruise.
that Treasure Cruise shouldn't be banned before I play that deck. But now Pauper needs some attention.
Well, I mean, like, really, what I personally think, like, my controversial thing is that, like, I mean, like, you gotta ban, I think you should just ban Delver, you know? Like, I mean, like, not the Delver of Secrets, not like
Yeah, but it seems like that's sort of a religious thing for Wizards. It's the border where, that's how good creatures are allowed to be. So it's towing the line. But
like, Delver's a deck that, like, Delver dominates Modern, it dominates Legacy, it dominates Vintage, for God's sakes. I mean,
yeah.
Right. I do find it strange that as soon as drawing cards dominated decks, it was bad, and they took notice of it right away. Banned 2 new cards because of it. But a card like Delver, which is so ridiculously efficient, is in every format it can fit in, but still, they don't...
I mean, like, I don't actually know why, because, like, I mean, did you guys remember, like, when Wizards banned Wild Nicottle, you know, from, like,
right?
Modern? Because, like, the reason why was because it decreased the deck diversity, you know? You had, like, if you wanted to play aggro, you had to play the Wild Nicottle, you know? And I think, like, Delver is kind of the same way, because, like, yeah, I mean, like, if you want to play a blue deck, the first question you ask is, where are your 4 Delvers?
Yeah, I think for Pauper to become really balanced, you should ban probably 10 blue cards, because blue is so much more powerful than the other colors.
Yeah, that's true. But actually, I do believe, although I do have to say, I mean, I just think that people don't play red enough.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
It clearly can win. I mean, look. The evidence is right here.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you look at your Pauper Gauntlet statistics, like, if you look at the top 10, there are 3 mono red decks in the top 10. There's only 4 mono red decks total, and like the 4th mono red deck was like lost in round 5 or something like that, you know. Like,
it was the elemental deck, right?
Yeah, and I mean, like, really, the thing is that, like, I mean, mono red is I heard, isn't, like, mono red, like, the best, like, cube is the best cube archetype too, and, like, yeah, I mean, like, and it's not like burn ever goes away in any format, you know.
Nope.
Oh.
Yeah, every time I see a new set, it is one of those things I look at is, can I go any mono color? First color I look towards is always red.
It's always burn.
I mean, really, the thing is that
always burn.
Always burn.
Like, I would actually go as far as to say that, like, red could probably, like, I mean, like, yeah, blue is really broken and all that stuff, but, like, I mean, red is probably has probably been the most consistently good color in Magic history, you know? Because, like, red has, like, I think red, like, blue has, like, come and gone. People, like, I think there was a time, I think, like, the Onslaught block, you know, and all that stuff, like, where blue was not very good because Wizards was actively trying to screw it, you know. But then, like, you know, but I think the problem is that, like, red has always been good. There's very few sets where you can't find a good red card, like a good red card and a good red deck, you know, like, from, like, the beginning where you had a bunch of lightning bolts in a deck, you just jammed as many lightning bolts as you could to, like, right now where you can still play, like, Boss Sly.
Right. Yeah, that's, I mean, what cube doesn't have that option, you know? Like, because people love it. It's just one of those major options that has always been and will always be. And right now, you can look at, even if you look at Goldfish, you can see even in Standard, the mono red deck, which I have in paper and played on, haven't played in the last couple, especially not since the new set came out, but at F&M, playing a mono red Standard deck, and it cost me like $10, maybe.
Yeah.
To put together, and it's competitive. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't even know if, like, I've ever seen a Standard where mono red was not at least a tier 2 deck, you know?
Right. Oh. I think they'll keep it that way. All right. Well, folks, we have talked a heck of a lot about burn. So let's go to the next deck that was played in the Pauper Gauntlet. Does it win? I'm afraid it does. Stompy won the gauntlet. I'm sorry, Jack.
Oh no, it's all right. I like green too. I just
yeah, I know. We
this hexproof.
We got to give credit where credit is due.
Yeah, that was
I was wondering because
like
Stompy have like a terrible hexproof matchup.
Yeah, it was the reason when I did the walkthrough about hexproof with the Luxicor, and this was the reason he played hexproof, because there was a lot of Stompy and he was 97% to win against Stompy. And I believed him because once you hit that huge enchantment, then Stompy can't do anything, especially then Armadillo Cloak, of course.
Yeah, and I think wasn't hexproof also running like 4 standard bearers on the sideboard anyway? It's like I thought that was the reason hexproof was so good.
Yeah, that's too. But in this matchup, he just never. His deck beat himself.
Yeah.
So he couldn't draw. Both sides of the coin were either creatures or just enchantments.
Yeah, I mean, there just has to be. I just feel that there needs to be a way to make hexproof not suck sometime. You know, I mean, I love hexproof, but I just think that there just needs to be a good way to make it consistent. You know.
Yeah.
Is there no card that draws cards based on the number of enchantments you have?
Not legally, not like that, or not legal in Pauper.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I know you jam in all the cantrip enchantments. Some decks play Manamorphose. It's just not really enough. You really just need to fit Treasure Cruise in there. That's what you have to do.
So our solution for everything: put Treasure Cruise in there.
Put Treasure Cruise in.
I mean, it seems like a simple solution.
I guess the problem is that but the problem with hexproof, you know, you can't I mean, you don't want your enchantments to go to your graveyard, right?
Right.
I mean, it fills your cruises.
It does.
I mean, just play 4 Evolving Wilds and 4 Terramorphic Expanses. Boom, you got it. You're in.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess maybe we should just rename Magic Gathering Strat. Let's jam 4 Treasure Cruises and everything.
Yeah, it's the All Treasure Cruise channel, man. That's what we're doing.
I mean, let's play 4 Rest in Peace and 4 Treasure Cruises in the same deck.
That seems like an awesome way to win.
Yeah. So actually, here's a question though. I mean, I guess with Stompy at least, do you believe that Stompy should be playing its delve cards, the green Hooting Mandrills or what?
I think they did at the start of cons, but is it still in the deck, in the winning Stompy deck? Stompy has been doing great in Pauper lately. It was almost gone from the mat game, but now it is 5.4%.
Right. Hooting Mandrills is almost it's almost a common what do you call that stupid thing, Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, but it's not played
it's so strange because it could be a 4/4 trample for 1 mana.
Yeah,
the biggest that Tarmogoyf gets is 5/6, isn't it?
Yeah, which actually reminds me though, I mean, I think personally from Fate Reforged, I think you asked this question, Gurmag Angler really, really excites me.
Oh, the 5/5?
Yeah, I mean, remember, Tombstalker is basically the same card, and Tombstalker certainly gets a lot of play.
It does. But it has no evasion at all, though, is the thing. It has no trample.
But you can also splash it. It's easier to splash, which is very important in Pauper, though.
5/5 is a very nice size in Pauper as well.
Yeah, I mean, really,
you would brick affinity.
What personally I think is that you might if you can make some I'm just thinking what I originally thought was if you're on the draw, you know, you can play some kind of. What you do is you discard your Stinkweed. You on the draw, discard Stinkweed him, and then at turn 2 you can get that 5/5 out.
Nice.
Wow, I didn't even think about dredging a stinkweed, then getting a 5/5 out. Huh. Mulch.
Or no, I don't think you can do that because, like, you only get 5 cards. Oh no, you only get 5 cards in your graveyard. Well, something like that. Although you
could probably still do it though. Hoodie Mandrills. Pretty strong card.
It seems like it should be really good, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to see... I mean, it's not really seeing a whole lot of play as of yet. I mean, your free 4/4 that's going to dominate the format's always going to be Mirror Enforcer. And that's just because it's actually free. It has very little setup cost. You just have to play your cards.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I'm actually really happy that at least Stompy won, at least an aggro deck won.
Yep. Yeah, and not familiars, yes.
Yeah. No one wants to play that snooze fest.
Or teachings.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, well, no, teachings. I respect teachings. I just don't really care for familiars or. Yeah, I'm actually glad that I'm so glad familiars did not win that. I was so scared too, top 10. Oh no.
I was surprised there weren't more Cloud of Fairies combo decks in the Gauntlet.
Did you guys ever? You never got that the green blue version of the Cloud of Fairies deck, right?
No, it wasn't. No. It was in the old Gauntlet, but not in this.
Oh, okay.
And then I don't know if the Tron Cloud deck was really around at that point, or I would have submitted it because it's freaking awesome. So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the thing is that I guess Cloud of Fairies just can be. I guess any one of those. You just really untapping lands can. It's pretty good in Pauper.
Yeah, and a stupid creature that actually gives you mana. It's just not fair.
Yeah. I mean, if I were to pick a card to be banned, it would be Cloud. I mean,
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would prefer Cloud before Delver even.
Ooh, really?
Even though
Cloud is an engine
Cloud of Fairies rule the Delver deck a lot.
Yeah, that's true. I guess you don't want to have those awesome Delver Cloud sprite turns.
Right.
Yeah, you that anybody when you can do that. So turn 2, Cloud of Fairies, hold up mana for spell sprite.
Yeah. Although let you know, I have definitely with Mono Red, Mono Red Heroic or any of the a lot of Mono Red decks still can beat that hand.
That's an argument for Mono Red.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, I have definitely been on the other side playing the Mono Red deck, and I have definitely taken that full force, and I've gotten through with all the tutus.
Nice.
That is good. It's very strong.
Yeah. Although, it does have. Although I do have to say, a lot has to go right for you too. But then again, it had that hand. A lot went right from them. So there's no need to give the Delver player sympathy. That's probably to do.
Right. No. Trust us. There's no sympathy for any Delver or control deck here.
Well, I mean, I like control decks. What I'm talking about is the Cloud of Fairies combo decks.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay.
Any combo, combo decks are only good if they actually win, right when you get the combo off, not 20 turns later or minutes later.
Right. What, you don't think that casting, tapping, recasting, untapping, and repeating that process 500 times isn't exciting or
interactive magic?
Fun to play. If you want to do your laundry, quoting the Luxikoi for whatever.
Right.
If you want to do your laundry between your matches, go for it. Just F6 your way out.
Oh.
This was a very aggressive Stompy build as well. I think I was complaining about missing Silhana Ledgewalker 5, 6, 7 times during the Gauntlet, but it went well anyway.
Yeah. I mean, so do you believe that Silhana Ledgewalker is the best, is the better choice between that and, what were you playing? Garruk's Companion or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Now I can't make that argument, but it's definitely the Stompy card I was used to. So I was like, this is a great spot for Silhana Ledgewalkers. I could see those spots. But, of course, Garruk's Companion did
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if 1/1 for 2 mana is like what Stompy wants to do, though.
Yeah, that was the argument why he kept them. This was Chris Weaver's build.
Yeah. I mean, like, what do you really have to fear for a Stompy? I mean...
having played a lot of blue-black, it's like Silhana Ledgewalker is death and gave Stompy resilience against control decks, whereas Garruk's Companion is just another dude.
But right now the control decks are all Izzet control, and like in game 2 they all have 4 electricities, you know?
Yes.
So I just don't. Yeah, I mean, like, I guess, like, yeah, I think, like, I definitely think that Garruk's Companion is a good alternative, or maybe like Nest Invader would still be fine because of the Morbid trigger and like the 2-for-1.
Yeah,
maybe or
is Nest Invader
hunger
a 2/1? Is it 3?
It's a 2 mana. 2 mana. It's a Grizzly Bear that also gives mana and a creature.
And enables Hunger of the Howl Pack.
Yeah,
let's say.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Do a lot of fun things with
That's
it. That's
pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I think, or I just think that like Nest Invader is a card that like is one of my pet cards I just really like. Another pet card that I think Stompy should use is Jungle Lion.
That's a classic.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's you gotta play cats.
Yeah, I haven't seen Jungle Lion played from anybody in forever.
Some very good Stompy players at the end of 2012 playing Jungle Lions.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, like, yeah, I really don't know, but I mean, like, I think, yeah, I just think that, like, there could be some pretty interesting Stompy builds that, like, we haven't. I just think that a lot of times, like, with Pauper especially, like, a lot of, like, I mean, there's a lot of ways to, like, even improve a tier 1 deck, you know, that, like, people don't really, like, people who, like, use the formula, they try, like, they do some success in dailies and then, like, they stick with it, but I mean, like, but I don't necessarily think that means that other cards, like, not running other cards is running other cards is wrong. I just think that there could possibly be interesting new variations. And I think especially with, like, I think especially that's true for, like, aggressive decks because, like, there's been a lot of creatures printed in Magic's history, you know? A lot of them are very interchangeable.
Right.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah, but which I guess is motivating me now to go back and try to side black work again, and then I'll go and cry because I can't. Or
oh no, don't get down on yourself, man. You've done good work.
We'll see. No, I mean, if I could go 4-0 in a daily with Suicide Black, then my Pauper career is complete. Oh yeah, man.
Awesome.
So we've had 5 months of the Gauntlet. I think it was pretty close to 5 months, maybe even 2 today.
Wow.
And
yeah,
what do you think about that?
Really, 5 months. I really enjoyed that. It helped me fill my show with content, and it really helped me out. But no, it was an awesome experience. It was awesome to have see all the different kinds of builds, and I don't think it should be underrated that just rooting, having the community root around their deck, champion it. It just brings everybody kind of in that sports bar atmosphere. It's like, yes, no, I'm going to win. No, I'm going to win. It's kind of fun.
I guess it kind of like is like a sports season, like 5 months is about right for a sports season.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Well, that's true.
I have to say, for the first Gauntlet, I was just an observer because we had my wife had my son right like the weekend after it started, so like during round 2, I think. So I just watched it, and And this time around, I got to submit a whole bunch of decks and all of that good stuff. So that was a lot of fun. So no, I thought this was a great season of it. It really showed how the format has kind of changed over the last few months, and so it was really fun. I mean, Dan, you played so much Magic. So much Magic.
I wonder if I got over 300 Pauper matches in the Gauntlet or not. I'll do that calculation before I do the evaluation video.
I actually think that, I personally think that the Gauntlet went way too long. I mean, it's, I guess there's, so many decks in the Gauntlet, and, for me, there was definitely a time where I was not very productive at work.
Everyone here on this call has been in that boat.
No, I mean, I promise. I mean, I think it's fine. I just personally, one thing I do have to, one suggestion idea I have to say is there needs to be some way to, I don't know, there needs to, I don't know, the first, few weeks of the Gauntlet are really intense.
Yes.
And, I just don't know if there's a way to, make it less intense while still, retaining interest, because, that one way is obviously cut the number of decks, but, is there do you think that there is another way to make it so you don't have to play so many matches, at least in the beginning, or at least have them all spread out,
But still this way, round 1 and 2 were so much longer than the other ones. So I think it's just the grind at the start that you have to play all these matches. But by round 7, so I feel I almost have. I'm frustrated and I feel like abstinence that I want to play more, but I can't. It slows down so much at the end.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you said you don't want to stream the Pauper Gauntlet, but I mean, is there a way to I guess the thing is, I think one way to make it is to put a bunch of put several matches at the same time, in one video or something like that.
Yeah, but does it help? Yeah,
well, I mean, so then I guess if you're I don't know. I personally think that if I click one video, I just because I guess for me, if I watch the videos in one sitting, I'm thinking about terms of my productivity here, because I'm so at this moment I'm trying to graduate with my PhD, so
right.
Yeah, and that requires a lot of work. So I want to do that in 1 year, and I'm also a medical school, so that complicates issues, So there's a lot of things that go on, and really. So what I noticed from the Gauntlet, when you keep uploading videos at random times, I kind of want to watch them, right? And when I watch them, oh cool, I can make the deck look a little bit better with idea 8.
Oh no!
Right, and then I spent too much time not doing that. So I feel if you are able to combine a few videos at once, and maybe have them in pods or something like that, every 5 or 6 decks are a certain pod, so then you can and they could be a theme too, every red deck is in one pod, and then every green deck's in another pod, and then you just play them all right after each other in a 2-hour video. I think that so then you can. So then, I guess that way you can at least you can if people are interested in a specific type of deck, they can just watch the video at that time, and then people aren't necessarily it's just not be easier for people to just watching something in one sitting means that I only waste the hours one time, not multiple times. No, this is just for my self-interest, not necessarily.
Oh yeah, I understand.
That could be a way to actually get some streaming into the Gauntlet again, which was absent this year. But maybe that's the least risk of anybody manipulating the Gauntlet in the first, especially if it is a double elimination in the first.
No, I mean, isn't there a way to Isn't there a way to cut the stream off when you or can't you just code all your make your just not tell anyone what your deck you're playing, instead of having the deck itself, instead of naming the decks Stompy or something like that, you name your deck deck A or deck B or whatever, and just not tell anybody the seeding.
That sounds confusing.
No, like
we talked about.
You assign every deck a code, right? And then like you assign each deck a code, and then like the code, and you don't tell the code to anybody. So then when you stream, so you just tell them I'm playing this deck, which you name something weird. So then like people can't snipe you.
Oh, I see what you mean. You're talking about just from a sniping perspective. Okay.
Yes.
I
think the thing is that like if you announce the deck you're playing ahead of time, people are gonna be like, oh, that's I know if I don't like this deck, I'm going to play a deck that's strong against it. But like if you stream it and you don't and you just don't tell them what you're playing, or you just like put the decks under weird code names, then you don't have to have to reveal snipes, and then, like once the game starts, like they can't change their deck.
True. This sounds like a lot of work.
That's true.
Or you can just like not tell them what you're playing. You just just
move the client off the stream when waiting for the match.
Yeah.
So they don't see my deck selection. Yeah. But I was thinking on your idea of pods, that for example all the red decks, then of course they would know that it was a red deck if I said now I'm streaming the red pod.
Yeah, I mean mini pods you don't stream. I'm just thinking if you're not streaming you can do a pod.
All right.
Okay. It is something to consider.
Yep.
Especially if we get those 5,000 subscribers and we start being able to have a little more of a YouTube income. That is something that we could strive towards.
Hey, how many subscribers do you need to make 5,000 then?
2,600.
Right. Yeah, we're about 2,400.
Almost halfway.
Hopefully that's a good idea. I'd love to help out, but I mean, there's not too much. I guess like I have a lot of. I don't know if like some people who watch King of the Nerds and people who watch Magic the Gathering videos is a huge subset, but.
Well, speaking of which, this is kind of a little catch up with you. He mentioned King of the Nerds, and we mentioned at the top of the show, Jack was on there. As we've also mentioned, that he created not just, Pauper decks, but the modern red one I played.
Yeah.
So you kind of talked about that you were trying to get your PhD. What else? What's your future looking like, Jack?
I'm trying to get an MD PhD. So like I'm in medical school and I'm in PhD. I have a test like sometime later this week. So hopefully I do well on that. Yeah, I'm just trying to become a physician scientist.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I remember you talking about that before. Are you doing anything with this season of King of the Nerds, or are they just?
I watched the premiere of the King of the Nerds. I went to Los Angeles 2 weeks ago for the premiere of the show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I met the new cast, and like I guess like we'll see like they recruit us to do random things like throughout the year because they promote the show. So usually like a lot of times I'll be like going to events, like going to conventions, or another thing would be like doing like guest appearances on some random like event, or another thing is like or like making cameos on another season of King of the Nerds. But like that's all really going to be dependent on like whether or not we have the viewer support of the show. And I don't really know if we're gonna if we have like an all-star season, which is like one or two seasons, which I hope that I can get into that. But
cool.
That really requires like ratings, and I don't know. And like we just got like Friday night graveyard slot, so.
Oh no!
Yeah, but I'm not. It might be a blessing because at least our standards are not very high.
It doesn't seem like that show is terribly expensive to produce either. So I would assume it has to make money.
It's just a show, I guess. It's it's a show. Like the budget's $50,000 per episode, and if you like look at a lot of like other it's even unscripted reality shows. Like they can be 2, 3, or 4 times that. You know.
Oh yeah.
Heck, if you're especially in Jeopardy, they give that much away every episode. They give more than that away in every episode.
Right. Those room decorating shows spend more than that.
Yeah.
Where they have people come in and want to rent out their house or whatever.
So I feel that it can be produced. It's easy. I feel that you can make it you can make it cost effective to produce, but it's not it's just not easy to it's just not easy to do all the time, because you have to you have to be able to bring in viewers, and I think the reason why we didn't the reason why I don't think we were they were super excited about us is because we were, the Big Bang Theory led into us, and then Conan led out of us, and Conan's ratings got Conan's ratings got hurt a lot, I think, last year because we were leading in. Whereas last year, the year before the first season it came in, it helped. Conan helped out on the show a lot. He promoted us, and so then and then King of the Nerds helped bring Conan viewers, and right now I think Conan both the King of the Nerds and Conan viewerships were down. So so. I don't know if I want to be blaming. I don't want to start a public feud against Conan O'Brien. But.
No. Right. It's all about ratings.
Yeah, I know. It's a completely television. I guess it's kind of like YouTube. The game of YouTube. There's so many factors that you have to consider. Before you. To get your viewers, to get your or YouTube terms, to get your subscribers.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
One of the things we found out here is putting out a bunch of content makes people unsubscribe.
Really?
How crazy is that? Yes.
That's
we put out too many.
The Pauper Gauntlet on 2 channels to reduce them, but we still lost about 50 subscribers every month of the Pauper Gauntlet.
YouTube.
Yeah, but is there a way to can't you do? You could just make a channel dedicated to the Pauper Gauntlet, or other are you guys doing the standard Pauper Gauntlet too then, or?
We're in talks.
We're in negotiations.
Who's the executive producer then? So.
Yeah, we're arguing about top billing.
I see. Well. Arguing arguing which late night talk show host is the best.
Right. Who's going to promote us the best? That's what we're doing here.
Yeah, it's a problem, But no, I think
right.
but couldn't you put would it be possible to just put all the gauntlets in one channel?
Yeah, but the biggest thing we want to do with the YouTube channel now is reach 5,000 subscribers for Magic Gathering Strat. But it's definitely a point of discussion for the evaluation.
Yeah, what you do is you could make a channel devoted to Gauntlet shows, and then just put your really interesting matches on put maybe the top 5 matches of each round in the Pauper Gauntlet.
Right.
I realized that people will probably stomach 1 video a day. So that's probably what I will be aiming for if there is a 3rd season.
Right.
If there is a 3rd season.
The thing
one way to get a lot of subscribers, and it will cost you guys a lot of money, have a modern gauntlet. Or a standard gauntlet.
Have a what?
A modern gauntlet.
Modern gauntlet.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Actually,
talk about production costs.
Actually, there is a plan for a modern gauntlet, and it will hopefully be revealed during the month of February. But that's all I can say right now.
Dun.
Or a legacy gauntlet if you're really.
There is no plan for legacy gauntlet.
But don't you want to have to shell out thousands of dollars for fetch lands and dual lands and Lion's Eye diamonds and all that stuff?
I have all of that.
No, thank you.
So that wouldn't be hard.
Dan's already got it.
Oh, really? So why no legacy gauntlet? I'm pretty sure if you So I think like if you did like gauntlets for the more popular formats, like you could definitely reach 5,000.
There is, like I said, the first one of those will be a modern gauntlet if there is another format gauntlet.
Okay.
Yeah, modern is very popular.
Right now, I can't say anything about the third season of the Pauper Gauntlet, but the most likely date is, obviously it seems that it should be after the fall set. So September is likely in some year.
Okay. Oh, so that is like, are you talking about like after like M16 or after whatever the next?
For example, this time it would have been better to start after Constant Artillery.
Right, and then next time he'll start is Return to Zendikar. He'll restart after that one.
Magic is going back to Zendikar.
Well, I say it's leading up there.
So does that mean the Fetchlands are going to be reprinted?
Yes, they are going to. They've already said they're going to be reprinted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't think they will wait that long.
I mean, it could either going to be Modern Masters 2
or Dragons of Fakir.
Exactly. Or Dragons of Fakir. But they have every intention of reprinting them.
Wow.
Which tells me that every couple of years they're gonna reprint them.
Series then.
What's that?
That means cons would be such a popular series if they're going to get 2 sets of fetch plans.
I don't know if they're getting both, but if they do, yes, they'll be selling packs for years to come.
I mean, the fetches show up in Fate Reforged. Apparently in like the land slot, from what I understand. So I mean, they're making them available wherever they can.
Oh yeah, there are entire boxes that the basic land was replaced with fetch lands.
That would be
entire
an awesome box
boxes.
to open.
Oh my god,
that's actually a pretty strong sign that they are not in Dragons of Tarkir, the other fetches.
Yeah, maybe, but yeah, I've seen several unboxing videos where people are like, "Holy crap!" Because right now it's one of the common dual lands is in place of the common land.
Yeah.
In Fate Reforged, but yeah, they have full on fetches. Yeah, I'm sure Wizards. It was a mistake, and you can't see me doing air quotes, but yes, I'm doing air quotes. Okay. Well,
so
gentlemen,
Jack, how many decks did you have in this season of the Pauper Gauntlet?
I had like 10 or something like that. Really, I think that the problem is that like if there is another season, I definitely have to lower the number of decks I submit. Like there's no way I'm going to maintain that many decks again. Like it's just too like I guess like what I can see is what I can see myself like submit to the Gauntlet next year is probably obviously Mono Red Heroic because it's already in the top 10, but like I would definitely try to submit a slide deck, like a traditional slide deck. I would definitely send in Love Train again, Watch Knights, and which I'm and probably like a few more of the crazier like Mana Burn, like Eggs or something like that, and then and maybe one deck that and then maybe a Manifest deck that has something to do with like Icy Hot Hottie, and then yeah, and that probably should be it. I want to send.
That's already 7. I would
that's quick.
Yeah, I don't want to send like 10 again. That's just too many to keep track of. Too many decks to root for.
Your loyalties, they are splintered.
Well, the problem is that it also means that you have to do sideboard plans for all of them, and then you have to make play guides for everything, and then you have to worry about did I give Dan the correct number of lands, or should I be running 3 of this or 4 of that, or should I be running 2 or none at all? And then all of a sudden the metagame changes, and then all of a sudden your deck is your deck might suck, or some deck might improve with a special card, so just a lot of things to worry about.
Oh yeah, and that's why it takes someone like yourself that can handle this this workload.
Thank you so much for your work.
That's the thing, though. Like, I mean, I guess like the thing is, I should like try to send more quality, just like focus on the quality of the decks and not try to flood the Gauntlet anymore. Although, like, I think that is true for like the Gauntlet itself, though. Like, I think like 77 might be a bit too much. It might like be like 50 or 60 is like a sweet spot.
There definitely could be arguments for that. I am still fascinated by the 100 deck mark.
Oh, wow.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I think if you do the 100 deck mark, you should probably stream a large portion of the Gauntlet then.
Yes.
Yeah, that would make sense, actually.
Yeah, or have a channel dedicated to Pauper Gauntleting or modern or whatever.
One thing that YouTube lacks is that you can't have, like, if you have a bunch of people working on a channel, you can't then have each individual member have their own channel and yet be a subsidiary of the Prime channel. So it splinters all the stats, like the subscribers don't pool, the ads don't pool, which I think is actually something that's extremely lacking. You should have a quote network, and these are shows on the network. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean like a true channel, I guess, right?
Exactly. I mean, it's. I know some people may argue that it is, like old thinking, but seriously, if you have a bunch of people who are in some way talented and you want to pool your resources together to make like your prime content, but then each individual person can go off and make, minor content that doesn't necessarily flood that main channel, but still is related to it.
Yeah, so
I don't see how.
Yeah, I think that should definitely work because, if then you can have like Dan stream the Pauper Gauntlet while somebody else just like plays Brews, or another person writes Magic fan fiction. And hey, I have not read Magic fan fiction, but I can imagine that there is some pretty juicy stuff out there.
There's
that like maybe only a select viewer base, a very small subset with even the Magic the Gathering viewer base would actually enjoy. But there are you probably could get some people from that,
Yeah, here's the thing. Other people have tried it in the past to where they use the Magic characters. But then when you try to run ads on your channel, when you actually are using the names of the characters, then you get in trouble. Which kind of sucks, because it's like this strange relationship that Wizards seems to have with its streamers. It wants streamers. It sure as heck wants streamers. But then anyone who does something on YouTube, it's like, it's given the stink eye.
You can't get ad revenue from the show, right? Like if you from Magic the Gathering content.
Yep. That they have told us that.
Actually, but you can't get them if you do something that's non-Magic, like if you're just talking about specific cards or something like that.
Yes. Yeah,
if you
this show,
then you're
gameplay is when they do that to us. But yeah, like this show right here that we're doing on this fine channel is we can monetize this one.
Oh. So what about if you do it what if you play it on Cockatrice?
Then you get into even more trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They hate Cockatrice.
Yeah. Then they will send hitmen.
Yeah, you don't want to do that on camera. That's pretty much the rule.
Well, actually, I was wondering though, in Cockatrice, you could actually one thing you could do though is if you you could make your own set, like an own Magic the Gathering set on Cockatrice, and would they be super happy about that? Start from scratch, make a whole bunch of cards that you wish were printed, but the Wizards would never do,
Oh, like the
Custom
who's
set
that?
Creator or something like that.
Right. Someone has the Drunk Cube. Who is that? It's one of the podcasts. Chewy and those guys.
Oh
God!
It's a guy on Twitter, and they reference him in several podcasts.
Yeah, but they have
loves it.
Oh, heavy, yeah, Booze Cube. That's what it is.
Yes,
and that is a 100% made up huge cube. So I can see people have already done it.
Oh, okay.
So, that's a physical set. They had the proxy guy. He made a whole bunch of cards for them.
Oh,
for the Booze Cubes. Yeah,
sounds like something cool. I should check out.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's cool. All right, fellas. I know we've had a great time today. Jack, I want to thank you for showing up and giving us all of your views. It's great to have you on the show. You've done so much. You've done so much to help us. It's been awesome.
Yeah, anytime. Hopefully, I'm definitely trying to limit the amount of Magic the Gathering I play. So I'm trying my best to not play Magic the Gathering, but I guess after talking about Magic the Gathering, I at least giving everyone else my ideas. I at least gives me a little bit of it gives me a little bit more hope, because then I can at least know that my ideas are coming to fruition without actually me having to test them all myself.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let me know how that Glazing Eggs deck goes, Dan. If you think it has any promise whatsoever. I don't have that much hope for it. I just think that it sounds like a cool deck, though.
4 treasure cruises. I'm sold.
Oh no, I don't even think I'm playing 4 anymore. I think I cut it down to 3 or even 2. It's they just get stuck. Even if you're playing a deck like that, they just get stuck in your hand too much. And people will always try to hate on you, by playing stupid relics.
Stupid Relic of Progenitus.
I know, it's so stupid. You're either playing a Treasure Cruise deck or a Relic deck.
Just you had to hate out the Treasure Cruise.
I know, right now Mono Black has to play Bojuka Bog now.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't think it's an option anymore.
Right. Okay, well, folks, if you dropping my mic.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I know. I haven't left yet or said anything that important that I am allowed to drop the mic. So we're on iTunes, and please go to magicgatheringstrat.com. YouTube channel, if you're watching this, you're already here. Magic Gathering Strat. Twitter @MagicGathStrat. Or if you want to follow me, it's @Cerulean Says Hi. Hello. If you want to follow Sam, it is SPO7677. Facebook /Magic Gathering Strat. Jack, do you have any social media if the good folks want to follow you?
I have a Twitter account at JPHSnake. And yeah, that's pretty much where you can contact me.
Yeah.
I'll tweet about this show too, and hopefully it can reach my whatever. I can't even believe I'm saying this, fan.
Hey, you can say it. You have it. We give you permission to say fan base.
Okay. Hopefully, yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
So I hope everybody has enjoyed the show. Please like and subscribe. It does help us out. We are trying to reach that 5,000 subscriber number on YouTube. We get some perks a little bit. They treat us a little nicer. They break out the actual silverware instead of the plasticware, and we come over for dinner.
I hate that plasticware.
It's nice. I do too. It's just gross. It always breaks trying to cut your chicken. Plasticware just shatters. It's terrible. All right. Well, this is the end.
I'd like to add something.
Yes. Yes, add.
5 months ago, we added forums to magicgatheringstrat.com, and now actually people are using them. So finally the forums started working. So check them out.
Yay,
it's
forums.
A link on the first page.
Sounds good to me. All right. For the Standard Pauper Show, I am Brennon.
I'm Sam. Woo.
And I'm tired.
I know you are. And this has been the Standard Pauper Show.
Hey, shouldn't Jack say that he's Jack?
Oh yeah, I'm Jack. Hey, what's up?
Hey, it's Jack, everybody.
Jack, woo.
He was here too. All right. Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a good day.
Shows how used you are to have guests.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
I'm
I'll
totally
see you
new
guys.
at this. I understand. Thanks for showing up, Jack. Appreciate it. Bye.